So Inspired collaboration hosted by Call Me Crafty Owl, who is Alicia. This is for August 2019, and we post on the 15th of the month at 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern, I believe is how it works. This is our inspiration piece this month. It's an embroidery hoop with a little embroidery hoop and some layered tags and papers and like rolled roses and leaves and ribbon and a bicycle and the words happy and joy. And this is from this designer named Sophie Fouchard from June of 2018. It was Creative Variations. I don't know whether that's like a hop or a event or what, but it was altering an embroidery circle, and I did not have one of those, nor did I run out and buy one of those. So I decided to do a couple cards, just two, and the elements I took were roses, wood grain, and layering, you know, and leaves and ribbons and things like that. In fact, I have a piece of paper that's very similar to this on my first card. So without further ado, let me show you what I did. Well, first let me tell you, the first card, I used this bundle by Stampin' Up. These are going to be Stampin' Up cards. I did two of Wild Rose and Wild Rose Dies bundle. This is a 3-part stamp, but I ended up using just this part and this part, a 2-part. And I also did some leaves, and I also die cut some hollow leaves. Let me show you the dies. Oops. I did use some of these, but I did them in the pink color that I used, which I'll tell you in a minute. I used a couple of these, which with Pear Pizzazz paper, I believe. Yeah. And this is the die that cuts out the rose that I stamped, double stamped. I did not end up using this, and I did end up using this because I stamped a leaf also, 2 leaves, and I cut them out with this. I stamped from Old Olive onto Pear Pizzazz. So I used that, and I did not use any of the sentiments out of this. I used instead the word thanks out of the well-written framelits dies. And the color, well, let me just bring it in and show you. Sorry. Oops. I was going to go for the pale pink, and I stamped out a lot of roses. I don't know if you can't see them in there, but I have a bunch of roses in there, and I just wasn't liking the color. So this actually is Lovely Lipstick with Melon Mambo in the center. So it's Lovely Lipstick around with Melon Mambo center. I mean, the background color. So this is Lovely Lipstick, which looks so red on your screen, but it is a hot pink. This is Lovely Lipstick ribbon also, and this is a piece of their Lovely Lipstick designer series paper that looks like this from the 2018 to 20 in color. Again, it's hot pink, not red, as it's showing. I don't know why my screen does that. Anyway, this piece of paper is out of the pressed petals, as so is this wood grain. But you could also use, if you had some left over from last year's catalog, the wood grains. And also, I have a piece of Very Vanilla in the background, which I ran through the pine wood planks. That seems to be a favorite right now of mine. I think the number has changed for the new ones, though. I'm not positive on that, but it is called pine wood planks 3D embossing folder. So I did that first. Then I layered the piece from the Pressed Petals Designer Series paper onto the Lovely Lipstick, and that's, I was trying to get some of the rectangle shapes in here, and also this piece of paper. And I liked that it had ribbon around it, so I did wrap ribbon just around the designer series paper, and I tacked it down, and then I did a faux bow here instead of a real bow. Then I put the one rose up on dimensionals. I didn't put a ton of them like she had in the inspiration piece. I started off that way and it was just too busy. I didn't like it. I did end up putting, and I did stitch. I used the Stitch Shapes dies, and I used the circle for the wood. I also put a round stitch shape piece of the designer series paper, which I don't know, it's up here, behind here. I just kind of raised it up a little bit, and then I put another leaf, and then these things that I had cut out from the dies. And the word thanks I just glued right on the wood grain, and that was in place of like the happy in the inspiration piece. So I didn't load it up with flowers like they have here, which I really thought about doing. I thought about making actual rolled roses with what do you call that stuff, rickrack, but I decided against it. And I liked that she had circles within the circle kind of thing, so I just used circle within a circle, and the here's my rose with all the leaves sticking out and things. And then on the inside, I kept it very simple. I just have a piece of the lovely lipstick designer series paper, and I stamped into the corner before I glued this in here one of the roses in lovely lipstick. So that's my first card. Then and the reason I went with the bright pink is, like I said, I stamped a lot of roses. I was going for Rococo Rose and Blushing Bride, and I was just not liking how the colors were coming out. I wish they would have brought powder pink back for me. Anyway, second card, here we come. I like this one better personally. Now here, instead of necessarily wood grain in the background, I did like the planks. So, and then I also took the concept of the frame. So I put my planks on a frame of soft suede. So that's my frame. And then this is also soft suede. So here's my circle. I did run that through the pine wood planks, and it is framing. And it's also a stitch circle, and so is this. It's framing the florals here. So although it's not a raised frame, it is a frame around the other circle. Then I was like, well, what ribbon am I going to bring in? So I had this ribbon. This is Rococo Rose. This is part of the designer series paper. I think it's actually the back of this piece here, this green and cream or white or whatever it is. And then this is the medium daisy. I stamped it tone on tone, Rococo Rose. I stamped it 3 times with Rococo Rose onto Rococo Rose. And then I used the medium daisy punch, this little guy here, and punched it out 3 times and just alternated it, and I carefully glued them together, and then I bumped it up on a dimensional, and then I put one of those fuzzy centers in because I thought it looked more like these flowers here. And the happy I cut out from the Well Written in Mossy Meadow 3 times, and just glued it down and had the P and the P's and the Y go down over the ribbon. I probably should have done that about 2 more times to make the word on the same plane as the ribbon. It actually goes down a little bit, but it's okay. It looks all right. And then this is one of the leaves I stamped out. I stamped it in Old Olive, and then I ended up coloring it in. This is from the Wild Rose kit. Coloring it in with Pear Pizzazz where some white showed. So I thought that turned out good. You can barely see it though, I know. And there is still a little bit of white shown, but that's okay. And then this little flourish, it was missing something. So this little flourish and these little butterflies and the little flower there and there, those are out of the Well-Written Words dies. So let me show you what I mean. They also have the 3 little flowers, a butterfly, a bird, and a little heart and an exclamation and things like that. And then here's the flourish. And it has 2 little flowers on, but one of them is hidden under this thing. So then I just die cut 2 of the little flowers, and I put one on top of the green. I cut that out in Mossy Meadow, and then I just turned the flower and made it so it looks like leaves are sticking out. And this one I didn't have the leaves, so I just put the flower down. This is Mossy Meadow Twine, and that's out of the new Magnolia Lane ribbon combo pack by Stampin' Up, and it's right there. So I used some of that, and I wanted it to be longer on this side and shorter here, just coming down, because they look like they had a lot of ribbon there. And then the only other thing I think is the yellow dots. Oh no, 2 things. The yellow dots are actually Pineapple Punch, and they're out of the Happiness Blooms enamel dots, which are in the current annual catalog. These are the 2019. Yeah, this is Pineapple Punch, Blueberry Bushel, I think. No, it's actually Pineapple Punch, Night of Navy. I knew I had Night of Navy. Lovely Lipstick, which I used on the first card, by the way. Here, all these are Lovely Lipstick, and I have 5 of them on there. Grapefruit Grove and Call Me Clover. So 4 of these are in color 2018 to 20. So they'll be retiring next year. I thought I had Night of Navy, and I just did not remember where. Now I know. I was looking for them the other day. So I used the Pineapple Punch ones to bring out the yellow here, and I don't even know. I think this might be what is it called? It might be Mango Melody or Daffodil Delight. I'm not sure which. It was in my scrap box, and this is a scrap of Rococo Rose, and then I just put the basic pearls down the 2 butterflies. And then on the inside, I just put Soft Suede, Very Vanilla, and a piece of the leftover paper that matches this. And that's it. I was going to put birthday in there, but this way I can use it for any kind of happy day, happy birthday. I don't know. Probably it'd be a birthday card. But I'll put that in later when I'm ready to send it to somebody, give it to somebody. Okay, so those are my 2 cards from our inspiration piece this month. I hope you enjoyed them. They were fun to make. They took me a while because I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to approach it at first. And I have to say this pink one with the linen look in the background, or burlap look arm, is my favorite out of the 2. But I was pleased with how this turned out. Also, they both bring in different elements of the inspiration piece, I think. So I hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, please be sure to check out the other participants in the collaboration. And many thanks to Alicia, who is Call Me Crafty Owl, for hosting this. We are going through December, and then we'll see what happens for next year. So if anyone is interested in any of the products I use to make these cards, here in the USA, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Most of you all know that by now, but in case you're new here, welcome, first of all. I'd love to be your demonstrator, and the links to my web store are below the video. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email's always down at the bottom of the video descriptions as well, underneath everyone's names in the collab, because there's quite a few of us. So if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be yours. And right now, a friend of ours, Justine, Well, actually, by the time this shows, her party will be ending. So I will have a monthly host code up for August, and it'll be on my blog, which is also linked below and also in the description box below the video. And my blog will have a list of all the supplies I used if you're interested in anything here that I showed you today. Alright guys, thanks again. Hugs, love, and peace. Have a great 15th of the month and great rest of August. Alright, bye for now.